coming back against the Washington Redskins tonight on Monday Night Football.
Bert Jones, the exceptional quarterback of the Colts, has been sidelined all year long with not one but two shoulder separations. When healthy the last 3 years, he led the Colts into the playoffs with bombs like this one to Raymond Chester, the tight end, now a member of the Oakland Raiders. And always he would look for Roger Carr, the fleet wide receiver. Tonight, Bert Jones is in action against a veteran. A great and shrewd and clutch responsive veteran named Billy Kilmer of the Washington Redskins, who rode the bench for the first 8 games but came back last week against San Francisco and starred with touchdown passes like this one to the former West Virginian Danny Bugs. And Kilmer knows how to take advantage of all of his receivers with touchdown passes like this one to John McDaniel. So Kilmer is back, and I spoke with Billy earlier.
Seems to me they always turn to you in time of stress.
Well, I don't think we're in much stress right now, Howard. We've got a 2-game lead going into tonight's game, and, you know, it's a good, comfortable position. And, you know, I came in against the 49ers, and the 49ers haven't had a good record, and I haven't played much. So this is going to be a real test for me. We got a great football team to beat here, and I'm especially afraid of their defensive line.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras.
Ready.
Stand by in videotape.
Ready.
Stand by slow-mo. Stand by to open your mics on the field. Stand by in graphics. Ready with your opening sumpers. Stand by the announcers in the booth, please. And roll tape. 3, 2, 1. Take tape.
From Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. An interconference game, the NFC Eastern Division leading Washington Redskins against the Baltimore Colts. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Buick, who invites you to see your dealer soon and test drive one of the new 79 Buicks. It's a treat you really owe yourself. After all, life is to enjoy. And by Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Hello again, everyone. More than 60,000 people on hand at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. Jam-packed crowd, and as you can hear, a noisy crowd. The Colts coming on the field. We look for a tough, competitive game tonight. And, of course, the game earmarked from the Washington point of view by the return of Billy Kilmer. He succeeded Joe Theismann a week ago and excelled, and he's going to have a chance to prove himself all over tonight against the Colts. Earlier, we had the opportunity to talk with Billy, and, of course, the key question was, how are you going to attack this Baltimore team?
Basically, I don't want to make any mistakes. That's the big thing, and I don't want to take any big chances. Now, you know, Joe Walton he's put in a good offense for me and Joe, and we can get some big plays, but basically we got to get Riggins and Mike Thomas running and Benny Malone and our running backs going. We have to have a good running game. So if we can get our running game going, then I think that we can have some success.
Avoid mistakes. Play conservatively, perhaps, and count on running help from the likes of Riggins, Thomas, and Benny Malone. Now, of course, the counterpart quarterback, Bert Jones. What about him? Dandy Don spoke with him.
Ordinarily, when you come to Baltimore to see the Colts play, you expect Bert Jones to start at quarterback. This time we're here, we're a little bit surprised to see that he is. Bert was hurt early in the year, hasn't played much at all. You're scheduled to start, Bert. You had a separated shoulder early in the year. We were told that it was maybe a bruise, but really you had it separated again, didn't you?
Yeah, against the Jets, I did have it slightly separated, not near as severely as the first time, but, you know, I think I'll be ready to go. I don't think I'll be throwing as effectively as what I have in the past because, you know, it takes a while for an injury to really not necessarily heal, but to get strong, and I'm not quite to that point of being strong. Let's hope I don't get a hit on it, but I think that I can move the ball club.
Well, I've got to ask you then about the International Football League, whatever it is. What I read was $5 million for 5 years. Is that a true figure? And tell me what happened.
Well, that's pretty much what I read, too. But my off-the-field agent, who doesn't handle any of my football playing or negotiating contracts, was approached by a man who fronts for a group of out-of-the-country businessmen and said, would Bert be interested in playing for $5 million or $1 million a year for 5 years? And my logical answer, well, of course I'd be interested, but by no means has there been any negotiation other than the mention would he be interested in playing. So it's far-fetched for me. I haven't been contacted personally. My lawyer hasn't been, who is my brother, so it's just a blue sky.
And, of course, that graphic speaks volumes. There's Bert Jones. He's only thrown 6 passes this year, completed 5. Now, earlier, you heard, and he does fire up that team. Just look at that picture, and this is a fired-up Baltimore team tonight. You heard Billy Kilmer say he's looking for running help tonight from the likes of John Riggins, Mike Thomas, and Benny Malone. Well, you can be sure Bert Jones is looking for help, too. And here's the Giffer to tell you about that.
Howard, if you could describe anything quite as tense as what we saw an hour and a half ago, Bert Jones warming up, testing that arm. He throws the ball a good 45 or 50 yards. He was warming up with a couple of kids out on this field, and he says, I'm ready, he'll go tonight. And he does have a lot of help. Let's go back to the 3rd game of the NFL Monday night season. We thought Baltimore would just knuckle under after they'd been defeated by Dallas 42-0. They went up to play New England, and they discovered that while they did not have Lydell Mitchell, they had this man, Joe Washington, that they acquired from San Diego, here with a touchdown pass to Roger Carr, the heavily favored New England Patriots that night, you might recall. Joe Washington playing his first major role for the Baltimore Colts, this time on the receiving end of a pass. And then when it was all tied up late in the game, New England kicked off. They had taken over dominance of that game. They booted to the 10-yard line, and Joe Washington went 90 yards for a touchdown. Baltimore upsetting the New England Patriots, and if ever a game was won by an individual, that game was, and you don't see many of them. Joe Washington has gone on from there. He is the leading rusher. He's wearing number 20 now. He's over 500 yards rushing, 27 receptions, so Bert Jones is not out there alone tonight. Their defense has started to come together, a defense that was hurt through injuries at the first of the year. A lot of personal problems. They played well against Miami last week in a losing effort, but they feel their defense is back to where it should be. We'll be ready with the kickoff right after this message. Billy Kilmer 0 for 5 tonight. He saw his first action last week, defeating San Francisco 38-20. He was 12 of 23 a week ago for 2 touchdowns. He got the starting nod again tonight. He has a 3rd down and 3. The ball just at the 35-yard line of Baltimore.
Big hole right there in the middle again.
Riggins, first down. He barrels to the 31-yard line.
Frank, those statistics show you how we've been devoid of any passing attack on either side thus far in the game. There wasn't a single completion by either quarterback in the first quarter. And clearly, Billy's having his troubles. But they've been getting field position, as we noted, on the exchanges of punts. And when you got a kicker like Mosley,
yeah, that could be a big difference.
He is in range already. He hit earlier for 44 yards. First down 10.
They really play those tackles wide right there. Oh, he's got a little
Kilmer going deep.
There's 6.
He wants Ricky Thompson. And the former Baltimore Colt of a year ago, who's having a big year with the Washington Redskins. Just when we were talking about the lack of the effective passing scores, beating Bruce Laird 6 points, the Redskins.
You
see Pardee.
You don't see many of those guys doing that, do you? I love it. I love to see that. That was a good fake in the middle to Riggins.
Play action. I love that pass.
You know what a thrill that has to be. This youngster came up in 76, an 8th-round draft pick. As we look at him again, 76, he caught 1 pass. In 77 last year, he caught a pass. He went to the Redskins, and that was his 16th reception of the year. Touchdown against his former teammates.
You had to wonder if the ball was going to get there.
Mosley. And the Redskins move out to a 10-0 lead as we are just underway in the second quarter. Look at it again.
It really was just a little fake. He gave Bruce Laird that little inside move, Frank, with his head. Laird turned, had to come back around to get him. When he did, he was there, 6 points, and we'll be right back.
Billy Kilmer, while he's not a thing of beauty, he seems to get it done. He's been doing it for a lot of years, 16 to be exact, has hit Ricky Thompson, 31-yard touchdown. The Redskins lead 10-0. Mark Mosley to kick off. Deep, number 80 is Marshall Johnson, number 20, Joe Washington.
Ball's actually easier to catch when it wobbles a little bit.
You know, it really is.
Yeah, he probably did that on purpose.
Mosley, a line drive. Marshall Johnson. And Johnson gives the hometown crowd a thrill as he goes out to the 35 to 36-yard line. Tackled there by Benny Malone.
That time, the low kickoff gave the wedge a chance to form, and Johnson took advantage of it.
You are absolutely right. That really was it. They got up there, had a chance to execute that play.
Baltimore in a lot of trouble. Redskins fired up defensively, and now they have struck offensively. Dowdy is at the top of your screen to the right, and here comes Roosevelt Leaks, and Leaks, the big man for Baltimore, keeps moving. He goes for 7 when he was stopped just beyond the line of scrimmage.
He really did it on his own, too, Frank. You saw right before the snap of the ball, they shifted in that direction. The defensive line shifted in that direction, so they ran right into the strength of it. Zone blocks. Leaks just got right in behind him and took off. Next about, what, 7, 8 yards?
Give him 7, and the ball is at the 43-yard line. Second down, 3. Dowdy goes right, Carr to the left. Those are wide receivers. Washington. Good move. Back and look at the move by this young man. Getting to the 45-yard line. Baltimore first down.
Good quickness. They have him listed as 5'10", 182 pounds. I really don't think he's that big. I don't know how tall he is. But great quickness. You know, the backs have got to have right when he's got a cut. There's that hole. Lost a guard. He said, that's all right, Pratt. I'll catch you later. Made that move in there upfield.
Baltimore gets their first down. 45-yard line of the Redskins. Dowdy goes right, Carr to the left. Washington, the leading receiver coming into tonight for the Baltimore Colts, is in the slot position.
Chris was a little bit offside.
55, Hamburger, just a little early.
Well, he believes in anticipation. Anticipation. Wish I knew the rest of that. That's such a good one.
Roosevelt Leaks, the ball carrier, moves down to the 36-yard line. And they'll talk this one over to see where the ball will be marked. There was a gain of 9. And it could be as... Well, let's hold on. Red Cashin will give us a story. I thought perhaps Hamburger might have been drawn off. Such is not the case. Bert Jones wants to know the entire story. He'll probably decline the penalty because he'll have a second down and 1. He would have a 1st and 5 or a 2nd and 1.
Well, they're making a problem in calculus out of it.
Cannot be that big a decision.
Offside, number 55 on the defense. Penalty is declined. Be second down.
Finally.
I remember that used to be almost automatic. They just stepped it off. Everyone's getting just a little touchy.
Second down and 1. Redskins 36.
Second and 1. Ball at the 36-yard line. Good action on the part of Leaks. He did not stop even though he knew the penalty had been called. Leaks slips and Jones has to make the first down.
Which he did.
Jones gets the first down, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations along the line to tell you who's bringing you the game tonight.
This is WPLG, Channel 10 Miami. Called it home.
Bert Jones turns around. Roosevelt Leaks had slipped, and he had to do it on his own. And I think that he is playing in just a little bit of pain.
Either that or he's sure got a funny way of holding his right arm.
33-yard line of the Redskins. The Colts down by 10.
I saw somebody move.
Washington.
Oh, look at
this little one.
I love it. I love it. That's just fun.
Washington to the 26, gain of 7.
This, of course, is the first solid drive Baltimore has mustered tonight. They did have one scoring opportunity when Jones had a receiver wide open. Look at it from the ground.
He leaves Chris Hamburger and Ken Houston, number 27 and 55. They're sitting there talking to themselves. They said, "Oh, wait a minute. Hey, did you see somebody come in this direction?"
A phantom.
What happened? What was that?
Second down 3. The ball at the 26-yard line. 11:22 remaining in the half. Redskins leading 10-0. Roosevelt leaks, Bulls for a first down, but a flag is down.
A flag on the play. I think my eyes are jumping. I've been seeing people jump offside all night.
Washington once again. And they'll probably talk this one over too because it's very close. The penalty and the yardage picked up by Leaks.
On the defense, first down.
Jack Barney, who took the Bears to their first playoffs since 1963, a year ago, 9-5 record. Great All-Pro with the Rams. Came with George Allen in '71 and is now back coaching the team that he helped to so many playoffs. Roosevelt leaks, finds an opening and crashes forward to the 16-yard line. A gain of 4, it'll be 2nd and 6.
I'll tell you, the middle of that offensive line is given a good charge now. Mendenhall and Pratt and Huff.
That's really that's the regulars that they have there. They're the guys on the outside haven't been doing it. I just was going to say they too are going up the middle. And that's what they're doing. They're following that initial surge off the ball by those 2 guards and offensive center.
Dowdy goes out to the right, Carr to the left. And you have a feeling that Jones would like to get one quickly. He's an impatient man. Washington. Upended. It was Dusek coming across the line of scrimmage. Number 59, who's played superb football for the Redskins ever since he arrived.
He really has, Frank. He has a knack of making the big play. You remember in their opening game of the season, it was Dusek who picked off a Horace Ivory fumble and dashed in for a touchdown that enabled him to upset the Pats.
He has recovered 12 fumbles in his career, which began only 5 years ago. 3 of them he has returned for touchdowns. That's an NFL record, by the way. And Bert Jones cannot get his troops organized. He uses one of his timeouts in a disgusted sort of way, moves over to the sideline. And we'll be returning in just a moment. Here in Baltimore, the Baltimore Colts have a 3rd down and 8. The ball inside their 20-yard line. Bert Jones could not get his troops organized, went over to check things out. Into the lineup now has come Reese McCall, number 86, 3 wide receivers, including Mike Siani, whom Baltimore obtained from Oakland in a trade for Raymond Chester this past year. He has had a lot of troubles with a pulled hamstring, but he's in the lineup. Number 45, Mike Siani. Roger Carr, Dowdy remain, the single setback. McCauley, a fine receiver, number 23. It's 3rd and 8. From Auburn, Reese McCall, touchdown. And Jones said, did he catch it? He went down and hard.
Oh, that was a heck of a catch. Oh, he made a turn, came back over, run over.
Number 1 draft pick out of Auburn.
That was Kenny Houston, I think that was back there. Let's take another look at it. Ball got some pretty good protection. They had a blitz coming in from the outside. Ball's pretty well thrown, a little bit behind it.
He's 6'6", Don.
Used that height, didn't he?
He used it. He was the number 1 draft pick after only catching 13 passes during a college career.
Well, the big thing is they showed resiliency. Down 10-0, they had to get back in the game, and they drove 70 yards to do it, or thereabouts.
He made a different team with Bert Jones. Tony Leonard. Flag is down.
I didn't see how the call turned Houston around as much as he did.
Took him inside and drove out. Conversion is good. So Baltimore is drawn with on 3, and let's take a look again at Reese McCall.
Comes up at the top of your screen. We're still back on the quarterback. But he had Kenny Houston turn pretty well there. A little fake into the inside. Called a zig out move.
He also had some inches.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Tough ball game here at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. The halftime score, Washington 10, Baltimore 7. Quickly, here's how the scoring went. Washington opened up with a Mosley 44-yard field goal, 3-0. Then Ricky Thompson took a 31-yard pass from Billy Kilmer. Mosley converted 10-0. But immediately, Burt Jones engineered a long drive, winding up with a 19-yard pass to Reese McCall, the tight end from Auburn, and Lynn Hart converted. That's the score, 10-7. Now, our halftime highlights are being brought to you by Commercial Credit, a financial service of Control Data Corporation. We find ways to help. Now let's turn our attention to yesterday's NFL highlights, beginning with Seattle at Chicago, Soldier Field. Pick up with action in the second quarter. The Seahawks leading 7-3, 37 seconds remaining in the half. And number 10, the Southpaw quarterback, Jim Zorn, going to work. Deep downfield to number 80, Steve Lodge, who's alone and who gathers it in right there for the touchdown, 14-3 Seattle. In the third quarter, Seattle leading 21-9. The Bears ball 3rd and 8 at the Seahawk 20. Mike Fitz in there in place of Avellini. Hits Roland Harper. Roland Harper bursts up the middle after receiving it. In for the touchdown. That made it 21-16 Seattle. On the very next series, Seattle ball 1st and 10 on their own 27. And that's when the Seahawks go to work again. The handoffs on to Sherman Smith. Look at his stats on the day. What blocking? The Bears go down as if cut by a scythe, and Sherman Smith along the right sideline all the way downfield, nudged out of bounds finally by 24. Virgil Livers on the 6th. That set up a touchdown, 28-16 Seattle. Then this 7-yard bolt by Waller Payton just in. 28-22. Seattle went on to win it 31-29. The Seahawks not an expansion team. Green Bay at Philadelphia, Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Second quarter action, 3-0 Green Bay. Green Bay punting from deep in their own territory. Fumbled by David Beverly. He tries to kick the phantom ball, doesn't. And then the ball squirts away. It's finally picked up by number 65, Mike Douglas, on the 2-yard line for the Eagles. 2 plays later, it was still 2nd and goal at the 2. And John Shara, remember him from UCLA? Back with the ball, running right. A little too eager right there. He almost got hit, but he got in and scored. Philadelphia won it 10-3 over the Green Bay Packers. In the big game of the day, Dallas at Miami, the Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. The first quarter, 0-0. Miami ball, 2nd and 7 from their own 37. Number 12, Greasy, the pinpoint passer. To 24, Delvin Williams. He slipped 2 tacklers. He's done that before. This is the leading rusher in the National Football League. Now on the receiving end. He goes all the way down to the 11-yard line. That set up a Norm Boulogne touchdown, 7-0. Still 7-0. Miami ball, 2nd and 11 from the Dallas 16. Again, Greasy, this time to the tall tight end, Andre Tillman. Hit by 3 men, but held on to the football for a 15-yard gain. That set up a Delvin Williams touchdown, 14-0 Miami. Third quarter action, Miami leading 20-3. Dallas ball, 2nd and 10 from their own 36. Staubach throwing deep downfield for the brilliant receiver from Stanford, and you saw the extension of the body in the hands. A great catch. That set up a Raphael Septien field goal. The pass good for a 53-yard gain. 20-6 Miami. Later in the third quarter, 20-9 Miami. Miami ball, 1st and 10 at their own 31. Greasy hits Nat Moore. Watch him. He evades Mark Washington. He evades Cliff Harris. And now the great receiver has nothing but daylight all the way in for an apparent touchdown. But no, holding called on the play, and Miami had to take it all the way back. Fourth quarter, 23-9 Miami. Staubach driving the Cowboys late in the game. Hit by by 3 men, but held on to the football for a 15-yard gain. That set up a Delvin Williams touchdown, 14-0 Miami. Third quarter action, Miami leading 20-3. Dallas ball, 2nd and 10 from their own 36. Staubach throwing deep downfield for the brilliant receiver from Stanford, and you saw the extension of the body in the hands. A great catch. That set up a Raphael Septien field goal. The pass good for a 53-yard gain. 20-6 Miami. Later in the third quarter, 20-9 Miami. Miami ball 1st and 10 at their own 31. Greasy hits Nat Moore. Watch him. He evades Mark Washington. He evades Cliff Harris. And now the great receiver has nothing but daylight all the way in for an apparent touchdown. But no. Holding called on the play, and Miami had to take it all the way back. Fourth quarter, 23-9 Miami. Staubach driving the Cowboys late in the game. And this, the quick shot to Billy Joe Dupree. And a touchdown, but Miami held on to win, as I said, the big game of the day, 23-16 over Dallas.
What does it take to run a business these days? To face unexpected problems and the disappointments. Competition from the big guys. It takes money to be ready for that big opportunity when it finally arrives. And Commercial Credit can respond to that need fast with a business loan, cash, to sustain your business. At Commercial Credit, we find ways to help.
That's head coach John McKay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a sense back home, the former head coach of USC. And with 56 seconds remaining, trailing 23-16 to L.A., that's Mike Ray in there because Doug Williams suffered a fractured jaw. Going downfield to the coach's son, J.K. McKay. Touchdown. The score tied 23 all. Now 33 seconds remaining. Rams ball 1st and 10, their own 38. Hayden back. Excellent protection. Finds the former free agent, Willie Miller. Good catch. He's bumped out of bounds, but a big gain, 33 yards. And it's first down on the Tampa Bay 29-yard line. Hayden poised as he was not last Monday night. Hands off to McCutcheon. Excellent blocking. Wide open hole. 18-yard gain down to the 11-yard line. Just 2 plays later, 6 seconds remaining. 2nd and 9 at the 10-yard line. Field goal attempt. Frank Corrali, arms up flung. Good. The Rams win the game 26-23. This is the Rams team that you'll see against the 9-1 Steelers in the special Sunday edition. This Sunday night, NFL football. The New York Jets at Denver, Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado, the Bronx. Virtually invincible there. First quarter action, the score 0-0. Penrose hands off to Keyworth. He bolts in from 5 yards out easily. Denver with a 7-0 lead. Later in the first quarter, still 7-0 Denver. The Jets had the ball 1st and 10 on their own 12. Kevin Long, number 33 with the ball. Running left, hit. The ball squirts out of his arms. Pushed forward and then picked up by 36. Bill Thompson, touchdown, 14-0 Denver. Denver rolled to a 28-7 lead. Middle of the second quarter, but the Jets wouldn't knuckle under. Jets ball 3rd and goal at the Denver 4. Matt Robinson, 17, looking for a receiver. All the time in the world. Then to the rookie, Derek Gaffney, and that made it 28-14. The Jets closed to 28-24 in the fourth quarter. And then with the ball 1st and 10 from their own 25. Matt Robinson goes to the bomb. Perfect throw to the speedster from California, Wesley Walker. Touchdown. The Jets took a 31-28 lead. Held on to win when Turner missed a late field goal attempt. What an upset.
And in 65, went to New Orleans, 67, Redskins, and he's just been around a while, 16 years. And Bert Jones, of course, the youthful member of these Baltimore Colts, separated his shoulder in the final preseason game some 9 weeks ago against Detroit, and has only played 1 quarter since.
Playing hurt tonight. There can be no question about it. He's winced throughout the night once he clutched his shoulder, but playing with a lot of courage and determination, and because of his exceptional character and excellence, he has inspired the Colts. Thus, we have a game in which the Colts are very much alive, trailing only by 3 points, and were dominant during the latter part of the second quarter.
I don't know that I have seen very many games where total pass completions for both teams was 5. 3 for Baltimore, 2 for Washington, and yet 2 touchdowns have come out of those 5 completions.
Superb defense.
Superb defense, that's what they say.
Mark Mosley will kick off for the Redskins. Marshall Johnson is dropped deep. Joe Washington. They share something in common. Both has returned an NFL touchdown on a kickoff, or rather a kickoff for a touchdown. Washington this year, Marshall Johnson last year. A couple of lightning-like threats. Mosley with the 44-yard field goal effort. That's the margin. The Redskins lead the Baltimore Colts, and the second half gets underway. A floating kick. Washington takes it at the 5. Slips, and he's cut immediately. And the flag goes down at the 25-yard line. Washington down at the 18-yard line. Don Harris was there to cover. But again, a flag is down at the 25. A lot of emotion in this game tonight. We saw it from the very beginning as the personal foul clipping is indicated against the Baltimore Colts.
That's a good point, Frank, because we have seen some of the presumably more powerful teams playing without much emotion this year. In fact, that's one charge Coach Landry has leveled at his Cowboys. There are the stats for the first half, and you can see how even they are in rushing, in passing. The figures are rather dismal. A paucity of yardage. Total yardage only a slight edge, and time of possession, Baltimore with a slight edge, but basically meaningless. Very even game.
Reese McCall, the guilty Baltimore Colt. The Colts have the ball. 1st and 10, their own 9-yard line. Roosevelt leaks, pounds into the right side, gets out over the 10, close to the 11-yard line.
This is how the game opened up, only it was just reversed. Washington wound up back down there. Didn't seem like they were going to get out, but they finally did. Now it's Baltimore's turn.
Leaks managed 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 12-yard line. Doughty, 35. Carr, 81. Wide receivers. Mac Alston is the tight end, 83. Joe Washington, 20. Roosevelt Leaks, 48. Those your setbacks.
Well, they got to be some flags.
Upended as a flag goes down.
They tried to
saw
time
movement in there.
Yep. That was Jake Scott all the way back there, wasn't it?
Number 13.
I think it was. They tried to time it, of course, just to coincide with that quarterback's count. I think it's one of the things that most quarterbacks fall into. It's kind of a hidden trap, but they get into the same rhythm. They don't change up that rhythm very much. And that defense does anticipate it quite a bit. So you've lost your advantage of knowing the snap count.
Number 80 and number 71 of the defense offside.
The 2 defensive ends, Coy Bacon and Carl Lorch offside. Lorch 71, Bacon 80. Dyron Talbot stays in there, 72. Dave Butts, the other tackle for Washington. McClinton and Brad Dusick and Chris Hamburger, the linebackers for the Skins. 2nd down and 2. Washington. And down goes Washington. Gerard Williams up there defensively. Gerard Williams, part of the secondary that consists, of course, of Ken Houston, Jake Scott, and Joe Lavender.
Washington behind closed doors.
I knew you would do it.
Washington against Washington.
Loss of a yard. Ball at the 16-yard line. A little more than 3 yards for the 1st down. Carr goes to the left, Doughty to the right. Roosevelt Leaks has the 1st down, moving out over the 20, close to the 23. Ken Houston made the stop, but Baltimore gets the 1st down.
He's punching out some valuable short yardage tonight, picking up the extra yard here and there.
Coming right through the middle. Just let him ramble. Roosevelt.
A great collegiate career this young man had.
Again, it's Mendenhall, Huff, and Pratt.
The University of Texas. Close to 3,000 yards for Leaks. Joe Washington tries to go to the outside. That's a tough move against Chris Hamburger and Brad Dusick.
Yeah, somebody had his leg on the inside. I guess that was Dusick. He was trying to give a move to the outside and says they wouldn't let go. Oh, Chris.
Been around, too. 14 years. Came up an 18th round draft pick. Missed more games last year with an injury than he had missed in the entire 12 preceding that. And Marchibroda looking on.
Marchibroda, who used to work at Washington, but George Allen.
As a head coach, he's never been less than a division champion. 3 years, 3 division titles for Baltimore. Second and long, going for Carr. Look out. No score. Cranberger will never catch Carr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, Bert's happy about that one. Boy, he should be. It was right on the money. Hanging it on the line. Had to go, what, 40 yards, 45 yards?
It did, and you know, Joe Lavender had good position, and he just drilled it in there. A 78-yard touchdown pass from Bert Jones to Roger Carr. Jones' second touchdown pass of the night.
I tell you, this is what you're going to put in the peach basket. Got good protection, and Thru. Man, now you talk about one spiraling. That one didn't flip at all. And you're right, Frank. Lavender was in there in pretty good shape. The ball had to be right where it was. And so long.
Matter of fact, I thought Lavender might have blocked Carr's vision. Carr himself, who was plagued off-season by injuries and was a slow starter this year, now coming into his own. But he becomes a valuable deep receiver only when Jones is in there. When Jones is out, you don't see Carr catching the long ones. The others can't throw.
Baltimore with the lead for the first time tonight. Benhart puts it through, and Baltimore has a 14-10 lead. And there's Roger Carr, who's had so many of those long touchdown passes, that great speed. We'll be returning in just a moment. Third down, 10. Dowdy goes left. Carr is out to the right. Jones looking for Carr. Will have to run the ball, and he's piled up short of the first down. And every time he takes off the ball, you have to wonder about his shoulder.
He's hurt again.
Weak, and he is slow getting up.
Just what Frank was talking about. Oh. Look at that. Look at the way he's holding that right arm and shoulder, Don.
Well, we talked last night, and he said, you know, I really shouldn't be playing. And I said, well, why are you? He said, you know, it was another separation. They call it a shoulder bruise. Said it was slightly separated. And that's just, you can tell. I said, well, why are you doing it, Bert? He said, well, I just, you know, I want to play, and I think that I can give them kind of a spark that we're going to do it. I said, you're running a risk, though,
of permanently damaging that shoulder.
And we were talking about shoulder operations. He doesn't want to have it operated. I had my shoulder operated a couple of times, and he says, I'm really trying to prevent that and play myself back into shape.
I'll tell you in a minute who faces.
David Lee will punt for Baltimore. Tony Green is deep. And the backup quarterback, Bill Thru, has a broken hand, so we will see young Mike Kirkland if Jones cannot come back. But this is Tony Green. And a roused up Baltimore special teams unit headed by Sanders Shiver hustles down there, and Washington will start at their 25-yard line.
Aroused is the word, and speaking of damaged shoulders, he doesn't want to have it operating on, you say. O.J. Simpson suffered a very severe separation of his right shoulder, ligament damage involved. He'll be out 3 to 8 weeks. It was his option to have surgery. He decided against it for the time being. Surgery would mean at least 8 weeks. Without, if he heals rapidly, he could be back in 3 weeks.
Progress marked at the 27. The Redskins have the ball. Theismann is the quarterback. Fake reverse to Bugs.
Oh, nobody there.
Wide open is Mike Thomas. And Thomas all the way down to the 38-yard line of the Baltimore Colts.
It was a nice play, wasn't it?
Yeah. It really was, and Theismann is giving them the life that Pardee wanted.
Should have given Kilmer that.
Yeah, let Kilmer run that play. You always have to suspect with a play like this that somebody missed a defensive assignment. And I would guess that that's what happened that time, because Mike Thomas was the first back out, and nobody picked him up.
Pickup of 35 yards, first down, 38-yard line of Baltimore. Baltimore leading 14-10. This is Riggins.
Hey, good play.
Oh, Norm Thompson.
Thompson stripped the blocker.
Yep.
And Blackwood came over.
And Riggins gets 3. It'll be second down and 7.
You're right about Blackwood, Don. He's a hitter. Jones is feeling pain. You can see it etched in his face.
Grimace.
Well, Don, you've had a separation and the resulting surgery. I've had a partial. There's nothing. There was no way to describe how that feels.
That's very true.
Our producer, Denny Lewin, also had one. He says, I agree. 2nd and 7. Wide open is Buggs.
Yes, sir.
Buggs down to the 15-yard line. Corralled there by Lyle Blackwood. First down, Washington at the 15.
Oh, that's the very pattern Kilmer used successfully to Buggs for a touchdown against San Francisco.
It starts right here because he's got plenty of time to throw. Nobody there. That might have something to do with Mike Barnes being out. We talked about a while ago. Rowe is in there. A good pattern. Buggs is not doing anything really that tricky. It's just the down and across pattern. The ball's thrown right in there.
You know, he doesn't look like he moves that quickly, but he was a 9.5 sprinter in West Virginia, and he can really move across that middle quickly.
He wears ugly shoes.
Mike Thomas.
Oh, good move, Mike Thomas.
And Thomas gets away from one tackle, picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Mike Kirkland warming up. The youngster whom we saw in the opening game of this year's Monday Night Football schedule. When Burt Jones was injured and Bill Troop, the ordinary backup man, was injured, and Bill Troop is injured again. So for Ted Marcia-Broda, a long season of trying to struggle and hold the team together with the quarterbacks on the sideline.
2nd down 9. Heisman wants Buggs, and he's knocked off by Norm Thompson.
Oh, that was a...
Buggs. At first, I thought they were going to exchange blows, and suddenly they're embracing each other.
You know, it's so hard for a defensive back that's been around for any length of time to adapt to these rules, where you cannot hit that receiver when he's 5 yards downfield, because when you've been around like Norm has for 7 or 8 years, you're just used to hitting a man, particularly when you get down around the goal line.
Well, I'm sure we'll get another look at it, won't we?
Pass interference going against Norm Thompson. Ball, as you can see, placed on the 1-yard line. It's 1st down and goal. Riggins. Washington touchdown. They take the lead.
Oh, the times they are a-changing.
John Riggins scores from 1 yard out. Washington has the lead once again.
Big hole over there. Nice blocks.
Ron Soule, number 64, another fine block. Mark Mosley is Burt Jones now down in front of our booth, is warming up to see how that arm is.
I think his face registers how it is.
Mark Mosley drills the conversion. And Washington back out in front.
I'll tell you, that Baltimore defense has really done its job.
They have.
The last 2 series of downs, it was 3 downs and over, with Theismann at the quarterback helm.
All right, this is showtime right here.
Right here, because we've got 4:36 left, and Burt Jones gets still another chance.
Again, good field position for Baltimore. Burt Jones remains the quarterback. A quick toss to Washington.
Oh, boy.
Boy, there's some lightning for him.
Oh, boy.
Washington to the 30-yard line. 1st down, Baltimore.
Good block by Downey, who came down from his flanker position that time. Frank helped that one open up, and Washington did the rest of it.
You know, Coy Bacon made a good move. He stood his man up, but Washington was gone. Watch number 80, top of your screen, right there. Stand him up. Forget it. He's gone. 17-yard pickup.
That's old Tank McClinton that finally gets him down. Good block right there.
Leaks against Bacon.
Roosevelt Leaks was the man.
He was blocking Coy. He did his job. He kept Coy from getting old Joe.
And you feel it so many times in a ball game. This momentum has turned completely. Leaks trips, but Don McCauley steps to the outside and manages to get a couple of yards out of it.
There's Tony Linhart, and he may get another chance. If Burt can't get them in for the touchdown, they're already clearly within not just field goal range, but Linhart's range.
Another chance and blows it. He'll be back on the Austrian ski team. Another piece of that jigsaw puzzle of yours fitting back in there, right?
3 minutes, 20 seconds left and counting down.
Second down. 8. Jones wants Carr. Beautiful shot. I'm telling you.
That did it.
3 touchdown passes. You're right. He gets an Oscar. Oh, he does. He just
watch the way this ball is thrown.
Right between 2 defenders. Yeah. Didn't flutter one bit. That was he almost caught it for Carr. Really not bad. Not bad defensive coverage.
What a bullet.
You got, is that Dusick back there, the linebacker, had a good deep drop. And that's Williams, I believe, that was, well, he had Williams beat pretty good, a little outside move, but the ball was right on the money.
Here's Roger Carr. And there's the outside move. And the ball right in there. The timing perfect. What a performance by Burt Jones.
Tony Linhart. And Linhart got off the bubble, so to speak. He didn't have to go for it. As Burt Jones has hit his 3rd touchdown pass of the night to this man, Roger Carr, who has caught his 2nd. We'll be back. All right, you're going to see a look of a man who says, hey, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. Zip. Now close in there, and he says, well, poof, I do this most every time I get out here. I do that. I hit 3.
He's a great player. He's a great competitor.
He had a great playing father, and I know he's watching tonight, Dub Jones, and interesting story about these two. They're both in the NFL record book. His father, 6 touchdowns against the Bears in '51. And Burt for consecutive completions. Tony Green bobbles it into the end zone. You better let it get out of there because that ball's alive.
Well, if you want to look at it with 3 minutes left on the clock from the Washington point of view, their failure to move the ball on 2 consecutive possessions, to retain possession for just 3 downs and over, thus not using up the clock, cost them the game. Give credit on the other side to a great Baltimore defensive effort tonight.
And this man.
And that man. What a performance.
3 minutes remaining in the game. Washington, they have their work cut out for them. Don't cut them out of it. They've been here before. They know how to handle it. But they have sagged here in the 4th quarter. Theismann dumps it to Reagans. And Reagans bowls out for a first down close to the 40-yard line, upended by Ed Simonetti.
Right now, Coach Don Landry is looking on and liking what he sees.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay. Probably looking at films from yesterday and not liking what he saw.
Washington has to play the Giants next week, who beat them earlier on, 17-6.
The first down is at the 34-yard line. Ricky Thompson split to the right by Theismann, McDaniel to the left. Out to John Reagans. He's close to another first down, and Norm Thompson just leveled Ricky Thompson, and that was the receiver that Theismann wanted.
2 minutes, 13 seconds left, close to the 2-minute warning. And a field goal of no use. They must have the touch.
Theismann did a good job of really kind of sticking in there and getting that last pass off. He was pressured pretty well right there at the last. Stuck it in pretty good. Second down, 2. The ball at the 42-yard line. 3 timeouts remain for Washington. The clock, of course, 2 will be stopped at the 2-minute warning. They have plenty of time. Their job is to move the football. Yeah, boy. Reagans on the draw. Reagans has dragged down his 74, Dave Rowe. He held on.
He got short of it. We'll have the 2-minute warning.
And there it is. 2 minutes, an exciting football game. We really hope you're enjoying it. A beautiful night from Baltimore. Baltimore leading 21-17 with 2 minutes remaining. 3 timeouts remaining. They have a third down, short yardage, less than a yard. The ball at their own 43-yard line. The 2 tight ends are in. Theismann went over, had a chit-chat with head coach Jack Pardee.
keep in mind they could go play action, try to score from here and still have it down to pick up their first down. What do you think, D?
Well, I think they'll get their first down. I think they go for their first down and get that and move on. Now, they've still got 2 minutes, got a long way to go. Usually teams have got one special, like play action, short yardage pass. You want to use that. You want to score with it. You don't want to make 30, 40 yards and then not have a score. They need a touchdown. Field goal won't help them.
And, of course, Baltimore had time to chew the fat with their defensive people. They are not going to play him totally for the run. 3rd and short, less than a yard. Riggins sprints for the first down, getting out to the 47-yard line. So Washington does 2 things. They get the first, they stop the clock. 1:56 remaining in the game.
It's a good point. Used up 4 seconds and got that first down. Now they're sitting there on all, well, they still have 3 timeouts, don't they?
3 timeouts.
3 timeouts. So both teams still have all their timeouts.
1:56 left in the game.
Washington used to run a middle screen in this 2-minute period where they'll run off from one side, the fullback will stay back in the middle of the field. It was always pretty effective.
1st and 10. Theismann goes to Riggins. And Riggins, the workhorse for the Redskins tonight, gets inside the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Quickly, Darrell loose.
Quickly a timeout call. That uses up 1. They have 2 left. 1:44 on the clock.
And Theismann will go over and talk it over again. Good hard-hitting game. Washington 7-2 on the season. Next week, we told you, they play the Giants in Washington. They've lost 4 straight to them. Then they travel to St. Louis, and then the showdown in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day.
There are no chumps in this league. Not anymore.
It really isn't. When you see what Tampa did.
That's right.
Johnny McKay pulled his club together. Jack Paterno's got a great thing going in Seattle.
How about Bud Wilkinson? His club had lost 8 in a row. Now they've won 2 in a row. And don't forget, tomorrow night, beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, ABC's extensive coverage through the night with Frank Reynolds at the helm as anchorman in New York, where there will also be Barbara Wallers with special interviews, and Lou Harris, whom you met at halftime, and Max Robinson in Chicago, Howard K. Smith in Washington, and what we call political close-ups of winning candidates all over the country.
The main thing is get out and vote. 2nd down, a little more than a yard. Riggins negotiates that and more. Inside the 40 to the 39, 1st down, Washington. And they'll be with their hurry-up offense now. They don't want to use the 2 timeouts they have remaining. This will be a pass. Theismann will either go for the completion or to kill it. Whistle blows.
Boy, I tell you, they had a good pattern set up. Did you see Riggins on the outside? And that was loose. That came inside with Fugit. It's too bad they didn't get that one off.
Now they sort this out. We'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations along the line to say hello.
This is WPLG, Channel 10, Miami. Called it home.
Washington had not quite got set.
Could be. Let's bring in Linhart.
Have to set a full second before he can snap the ball.
I'm looking for Linhart.
No penalty. They'll start the clock, and Washington will have to hustle to the line of scrimmage. Seconds ticking away. 1:17 as Theismann drops back. Hangs it up for Riggins in a crowd, and it bounces off a couple of defenders. Norm Thompson was there, as was Darrell Luce. Stops the clock with 1:11.
That was a situation that could be very close to what they used to refer to as face guarding, which is pass interference.
That's the value to throwing that kind of pass. Anything can happen down there. Interference, a deflection. Look at it.
They were all over in pretty good shape. It was a similar pattern to what they had called earlier. That was almost intercepted, as a matter of fact. All right, 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. The Redskins have 2 timeouts. 1:11 on the clock. They're down by 4 points. And Theismann is down at midfield, tries to get in the direction of Mike Thomas. I believe he did. Baltimore is saying he's grounded the ball. That's not true. He saw Mike Thomas trying to get there.
It was kind of an unusual situation. Frank, 2nd and 10, and they decided to throw everything at him. They came with the blitz, and they really did give him some trouble. I think he did get the ball off. I think everybody knows he was just trying to get rid of it, but considering the fact he got it close enough to
Reiterate what Howard said earlier, that's the plus he does give you. I'm a big fan of Billy Kilmer's, but it would have been difficult for Billy to get out of that situation.
1:06 left.
3rd down. And now Joe has to get something of it.
There it is.
Fires, and it's complete to number 86, John McDaniel, drilled at the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, he drilled that ball.
Flag is down also back where Theismann was down.
Flag.
Could have a holding call. We do. Holding against Washington.
That's it.
Dave Rowe holds up his hand as if to indicate I was held.
Well, it was a well-thrown ball.
It really was.
Yeah.
It's too bad for Washington.
He set back in there on a 3rd and 10, and McDaniels came across the middle, and he drilled it. Hit him right between that 8 and the 6.
Here's the call.
Holding number 75 on the offense.
Oh, they got old Terry.
Terry Hermeling holding. Theismann's problems are compounded. He has a 3rd down now and 20.
And 58 seconds showing on the clock.
And not a bad call to come right back with that one, wouldn't you say, Don?
Yeah, he's got to work back in the middle, I think, Frank. They're not going to let him catch it and kill the clock, too, so he worked something down in the middle. Oh, that's no good. That was really not a very good pattern, I don't think, because he didn't have anybody really breaking into the middle.
Only a couple of fans.
Yes.
All right, it's down to this.
52 seconds.
52 seconds.
In this ballpark, fans used to run out on the field in the middle of the game when they had Mike Curtis, and Curtis would tackle the fans.
They're easier. The ball at the 49-yard line. Bitterly fought game between two defensive teams. Baltimore, you could sense late in the 3rd quarter, was taking over the momentum.
You could feel Washington sagging.
Fired up by their quarterback, Burt Jones. Had a tremendous night. 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Roger Carr.
Washington.
4th down. And the ball is jarred loose by Joe Ehrman. Dallas will be only 1 game behind the Redskins.
And Washington has now seen the doors close.
Closed door.
Ehrman knocked the ball loose, and I believe it was Dave Rowe who came up with the recovery.
Well, the defense really has done a super job. This is just the final touch, icing on the cake, and man, he zeroed in on him, and there it was. Big Joe.